The billionaire CEO had already spent more than $100 million searching for a cure, consulted the most celebrated specialists in the world, and traveled through the finest medical centers money could buy. Yet on a bright autumn afternoon, just as another team of renowned experts declared there was nothing left to try, a quiet janitor pushing a cleaning cart stopped in the hallway, looked at her trembling hand for only a few seconds, and realized something every specialist had somehow overlooked. The room fell silent. The world's most expensive medical mystery was about to change because of the observation of a single father who had never attended medical school. Before this unforgettable story begins, if you believe kindness, hope, forgiveness, and second chances still exist in the world, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our family and our community can continue growing together through stories that inspire the heart. At 45, Vivian Ashcroft was admired across Europe and North America as one of the youngest founders ever to build a global biotechnology empire. Her company developed life-changing medical devices, funded children's hospitals, and donated millions to disease research every year. Business magazines praised her intelligence, investors admired her discipline, and employees respected her generosity. Yet behind every polished interview and confident smile was a woman quietly losing control of her own body. Nearly 3 years earlier, Vivian had begun noticing brief moments when her fingers refused to cooperate. At first she dismissed them as exhaustion from endless meetings and international travel. Then came unexplained dizziness, sudden weakness, blurred vision that lasted only minutes, and overwhelming fatigue that appeared without warning. Specialists from around the world examined her. Every possible scan, blood test, and experimental treatment was performed. Teams of experts debated her case for months. Each new opinion led to another expensive treatment, another private clinic, another disappointing answer. The more money she spent, the more hopeless the diagnosis became. Some physicians believed it was an extremely rare neurological disorder. Others suspected an autoimmune disease no existing treatment could stop. Experimental therapies cost millions and brought painful side effects without improvement. Newspapers speculated endlessly about the mysterious illness affecting one of the world's wealthiest women, while Vivian quietly accepted the possibility that even unlimited resources could not purchase another healthy future. Her headquarters included an advanced executive wellness center where specialists frequently visited. The building itself sparkled with elegance, from marble floors to glass walls overlooking the city skyline. Among hundreds of employees who quietly kept the enormous complex running was a janitor named Rowan Fletcher. Rowan was 38 years old and had never expected his life to become extraordinary. After losing his wife, Clara, to a sudden heart condition 6 years earlier, he became the sole parent of his lively 9-year-old daughter, Elsie. Every morning began before sunrise. He prepared breakfast, packed school lunches, walked Elsie to school, completed long cleaning shifts, and spent every afternoon helping her with homework before cooking dinner. Money remained tight, but love was never in short supply. Before becoming a janitor, Rowan had completed nearly 3 years of nursing school. His education ended abruptly when his father suffered a disabling accident, forcing Rowan to leave college and support his family full-time. Although he never earned his medical degree, the years of training had taught him to notice details many people ignored. Those lessons remained with him long after he traded textbooks for cleaning supplies. Vivian barely noticed the maintenance staff who worked quietly around the building. She never treated anyone poorly, but her demanding schedule left little room to know the people whose work happened behind the scenes. One bright afternoon, following another exhausting consultation with specialists, Vivian slowly walked toward the elevator while absent-mindedly rubbing the fingers of her left hand. Rowan happened to be polishing a nearby railing. As she reached for the elevator button, he noticed something peculiar. Her fingertips briefly turned unusually pale before quickly regaining color. At the same moment, she instinctively stretched her wrist and gently massaged the side of her neck. Seconds later, she blinked several times as though trying to clear her vision. Each symptom alone appeared insignificant. Together, they reminded Rowan of a patient he had once cared for during his nursing training. He hesitated. Who was he to question world-famous doctors? He returned to his work. Yet the thought refused to leave him. That evening, while helping Elsie complete a science project about the human circulatory system, Rowan found himself remembering every detail from those nursing lectures years earlier. He searched through old notebooks he had surprisingly never thrown away. One page described an uncommon vascular compression syndrome capable of mimicking several neurological illnesses. The condition often escaped detection because symptoms appeared intermittently and standard examinations frequently missed the underlying cause. The next morning, Rowan wrote a respectful handwritten letter. He made no diagnosis. He simply described the symptoms he had observed and suggested that perhaps a vascular specialist familiar with rare compression disorders might be worth consulting before abandoning hope completely. He almost threw the letter away. Instead, he quietly handed it to Vivian's executive assistant. Days passed without any response. Then, unexpectedly, Vivian requested to meet him. She admitted that she nearly ignored the letter because countless people regularly claimed to possess miracle cures. What changed her mind was Rowan's humility. He never promised answers. He merely encouraged one final possibility. Having exhausted nearly every other option, Vivian agreed to undergo one additional evaluation with an internationally respected vascular surgeon who specialized in disorders rarely encountered even by experienced physicians. The examination was unlike any previous one. Rather than focusing exclusively on neurological function, the specialist studied blood flow while Vivian performed certain arm and neck movements. Additional imaging finally revealed the hidden problem. An uncommon anatomical abnormality had intermittently compressed a major blood vessel and surrounding nerves for years. The condition was difficult to identify because symptoms appeared only in specific positions and often disappeared before routine testing occurred. More importantly, it could be treated. Not easily. Not instantly. But realistically. For the first time in nearly 3 years, Vivian heard a sentence she thought she would never hear again. There was genuine hope. Several weeks later, she underwent a carefully planned operation. Recovery required patience, physical therapy, and determination rather than experimental medications. Gradually, the dizziness disappeared. Her strength returned. The trembling became less frequent. Each new step without pain felt like receiving another chance at life. Journalists celebrated the remarkable recovery, praising the brilliant medical team responsible for solving one of modern medicine's most puzzling cases. Only a handful of people knew the truth. The investigation had begun because a janitor quietly noticed one small symptom everyone else overlooked. Vivian invited Rowan and Elsie to lunch one sunny afternoon in the company garden. Instead of thanking him with dramatic speeches, she listened to his own story for the very first time. She learned about Clara's passing, the unfinished nursing education, the financial sacrifices, and the little girl whose greatest dream was becoming a doctor one day because she wanted to help families stay together. Vivian left that conversation with tears in her eyes. She realized she had spent years believing success meant surrounding herself with the most accomplished people while overlooking extraordinary wisdom quietly walking the same hallways every day. A month later, Rowan arrived at work expecting another ordinary shift. Instead, he found the entire staff gathered in the atrium. Vivian announced the creation of a scholarship foundation dedicated to helping working parents complete interrupted healthcare educations. The very first scholarship recipient was Rowan Fletcher. His tuition, books, transportation, and living expenses would be fully funded until graduation. The announcement stunned him. He accepted with gratitude but insisted on continuing part-time work until another employee could comfortably replace his position. Vivian smiled. That answer confirmed she had chosen the right person. Years passed. Rowan completed nursing school with distinction before continuing advanced studies in vascular care. His unusual journey made him especially compassionate toward patients whose symptoms remained unexplained. He never dismissed concerns simply because test results looked normal. Instead, he remembered that every illness carried a story deserving careful attention. Elsie eventually entered medical school herself. Inspired by both her father and Vivian, she focused on diagnostic medicine, believing the smallest observation could sometimes save the biggest life. Vivian transformed her company culture as well. Every employee, regardless of title, became encouraged to share ideas without fear of being ignored. Annual awards no longer recognized only executives and researchers. Security guards, receptionists, cafeteria workers, cleaners, and maintenance staff were celebrated whenever their observations improved safety, efficiency, or the lives of others. The company became known not only for innovation but for genuine respect. One bright afternoon, several years after her recovery, Vivian walked through the headquarters without pain for the first time since her illness began. She paused beside the same hallway where Rowan had once quietly pushed a cleaning cart. Nothing about the corridor appeared remarkable. Yet to her, it would always be the place where hope returned. Before we reach the end of this story, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment when someone overlooked by others made the biggest difference in your life? Please leave a meaningful comment below because your story could encourage someone who is struggling to believe that kindness still matters. Vivian often told young entrepreneurs that money could build hospitals, purchase equipment, and hire brilliant experts, but it could never replace humility. The greatest breakthroughs often begin when someone chooses to listen to voices that others ignore. Rowan never became a hero because he wanted recognition. He simply cared enough to notice another person's suffering. Sometimes compassion sees what expertise alone cannot. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Thank you for being part of our community, where every story reminds us that hope often arrives through the most unexpected people, and that the smallest act of courage can become the beginning of someone else's second chance.